Hello, Lord of Life family. It's time for a weekly devotion, and I'd like to highlight. Actually, I have a few really, like I have a life verse, I have a favorite verse, and this one verse that I'm going to be talking about today is one that's really making leaps on the chart, the top 5 chart. I think it's probably in like maybe the 3rd slot now. But the verse is, I'll read it to you, it'll be on the screen. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because this last 2 weeks have been a week of 2 weeks of ministry at Lord of Life. It started out on Thursday, the end of March, where we finally were able to go back to the train depot and have an outreach. Here's a picture I'd like to show you of the men that came out on that little chilly Thursday morning. And also here's a train coming from the station, ready to take the commuters to Chicago. We had 3 trains. One was late, and we didn't want to stay another half hour for it. But we probably had about 5 or 6 people, maybe only 20 commuters on those 3 trains. So we're definitely taking some notes for next year. Probably we'll go to La Fox next year. But again, I'm so glad that we were back, that since COVID, we haven't done the train depot outreach, but I'm looking forward to continuing on with that outreach. The next thing that we did in the month of March, we had a very special ministry that was our mission of the month, C24/7, Father's Arms Ministries, which is my daughter Natalie and her husband James. And we did a drive for their food pantry, and I was so floored by all the things that Lord of Life that you brought for them. We've already taken 2 loads downtown, and I've got some pictures here to show you where it started, and then the collections, and then one of the loads we dropped off, and here's James and Natalie. But that was such a blessing. And again, we just don't know what the impact will be in these ministries that you do, but know that the labor that you make for the Lord is not in vain. And finally, I wanted to talk about one last thing. This was the Elburn food pantry dinner that actually happened tonight. And it's so good to come together with fellow believers and share ministry and serve together. Here's a group that came to Lord of Life. Dennis Gorski picked up the barbecue pulled pork from Reams, and we put all the dinners together in a to-go container. And here's some pictures of Maddie with Robin Ulrich, who coordinates the ministry at the Elburn Food Pantry at the Elburn Community Center. It was just a great time. So, brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Good job, Lord of Life.